I got another banger for you guys. Stay tuned. Guys, welcome to the Mr. Bubbles channel where we dish out awesome pressure washing business advice to beginners. It's another one of those favorite segments of mine, the 5 questions that I answer for you guys. They come from the comment section, so make sure, guys, make sure that you are absolutely spamming the comment section because maybe in the next video, your question is going to be featured. So without any delay, let's go ahead and jump right in. Question number 1. As always, guys, we're going to put the handle here so you guys can follow along and see who's posting what there in the comment section. But question number 1 comes to us from @Alejandro Morales Rojas X4R. And his question is, what hose do you use for soft washing? That's a very, very good question. And so here's the deal. I'm going to actually answer several questions about hoses here. So you guys have seen in all my videos, sometimes I will soft wash a house and I'm using that blue soaker gun with the blue hose. That's a 5/8 hose. It's a blue soft wash hose, 5/8, and that's 200 feet, by the way. And you can get that same hose that I use with Russ Johnson, a Southside equipment company. I'll actually put up their information here, their website for you guys. I order a lot of stuff from Russ, but that hose right there, guys, top notch. Now, you guys have seen a lot of videos in the industry where guys are using like a yellow hose or maybe an orange hose, so they're soft washing with the orange hose. Those hoses, they're called ag hoses, and ag is short for agricultural hoses. And most of those hoses, by the way, they're 3/8. Some of them are half inch. But I found through the years that the 5/8 works really well for soft washing because that's a lot of water that's coming through there. And it's a little bit more flexible than the ag hoses. So highly recommend that. And then also, I'm also going to answer this because we actually use a 3/8 pressure washing hose that I've been using for like the last 5 or 6 years, guys. It's the absolute best pressure washing hose that you can get for your business. And I get my hoses, again, it's a 3/8 and it's 100 foot. Now we need 200 feet, so I get 2 of those, so I just connect them. And we get that at Doug Rucker's store. I also put the website for Doug Rucker's here. And the hose, I think I have a picture for you guys, so I'll put that up here. The hose is called the Fierce Jet. And it's, again, 3/8. It's 1 wire hose, not 2 wire. So it's like really, really bendable, really flexible. Guys, you know, I've been in the game for a hot minute, and I've used every single kind of hose that you can think of. As far as pressure, I would never use any other hose than that hose there from the Doug Rucker store. And then the blue soft washing hose, it goes a long way. Actually, the one that's on my truck right now, guys, I've had that same hose for like 7 years. That hose is very resistant and very, very, very good. And it's non-marking and all of that. So highly recommend that. And that's a great question, by the way. Question number 2 comes to us from JCMTZ0814. And the question is, when downstreaming, what kind of gun are you using to reach that high? Wow, JC, that's a great question, brother. So here's the deal. And this is going to be great for a lot of you guys because, you know, about 90-some% of you guys that watch my channel, you're kind of like brand spanking new to the industry. So I'm going to break it down for you like this. You know, the machines that we use is actually what makes the difference when we're talking about, you know, a lot of water coming out and getting a lot of height. You know, the questions about getting, you know, to that second story has nothing to do with the tips we're using or the what is it called? The wand. The wand has zero to do with any of it. So what it is this, you know, when you get a machine, right, there's 2 things that you got to take into account. The PSI, which stands for pounds per square inch, and then the GPMs. GPMs stands for gallons per minute, and that is expressing how much water your pump, the pump that's connected to the pressure washer, is pumping out, how much water it's pumping out per minute. And what professionals in the industry really care about is GPM. So I'll give you an example. The machine that's one of the machines that's on my trailer right now is a 8.5 GPM machine, and it's 3,500 PSI. We don't care about the PSI. We care about the GPM. So when you, for example, you go inside of a Home Depot, that's a great example. You know, you got your Craftsman and your Ryobis and your Simpsons and all that. So let's say you get a machine and it's 2.5 GPMs, gallon per minute. So the way it works, guys, is for every GPM, again, gallon per minute, you can go 10 feet up in the air. Okay, so you guys got that? So for example, a 2.5 GPM machine, you're gonna go 25 feet in the air. And here in my area, here where we are in Maryland, Southern Maryland, you're not doing anything with that, because a lot of the houses that we go to 30, 40 feet and up. And we know this because we do a lot of gutter cleaning, and we have a 32-foot and a 42-foot ladder that we carry. And a lot of times, I mean, you're just making it to the gutter line with those ladders. So you're going 30, 40 feet. You're not making it with a 2.5 GPM machine, but an 8.5 GPM machine, I mean, we're going 20, sometimes 30 feet. It depends on wind and a bunch of other things, but we're going really, really, really high with that. Again, because you get 10 GPMs of height. You get 10 feet of height for every GPM. So 1 GPM, 10 feet, 2 GPM, 20 feet, 3 GPMs, you can go 30 feet, and so forth. That's why in the industry, we always recommend that you, at the very bare bones minimum, you start out with a 4 GPM machine, because that you're going to be able to reach like 95% of houses with that. And then your 5.5 GPMs is what I would say the vast majorities of the guys in the industry, they use a 5.5 GPM. You're getting 99.9999% of the houses. And then we here, you know, we have a combination of pressure washing and a lot of gutter cleaning and commercial work. So we use the bigger machines for that purposes. But for you guys that are starting out, you know, 4 GPM, 5 GPM will get you through about 4 to 6 houses a week. That's all you need. Remember, you know, when it comes to equipment upgrade, you do it little by little as you gain the knowledge and the experience out in the field, which is the most important. But that's a great question, one that I don't think I've ever answered on video before. Question number 3 comes to us from Anthony's at Anthony's NI92, and the question is, how long until you hired your first employee? Wow, Anthony, that's a great question, my man. So we have 12 full-time employees here at Mr. Bubbles. We have several admin people, you know, like accountant. We have a part-time administration person, like a helper that helps me, an assistant, I should say. And then we have a full-time office manager. And then we got people in the field, and we have an operations manager. So the bottom line is, the question about when I got my first employee, it was right towards between year 4 and 5 for me. Guys, my first 2 years, this was a side hustle for me, right? It was a part-time job. I had a full-time job. I was a Safeway store manager. And then I was, on my days off, I was washing houses. Then my 3rd year, that's when I went full-time. I would say, man, that 3rd year, guys, was a lot of learning experiences, a lot of mistakes that I made during that 3rd year, things that I learned. It was right towards the 3rd year, my first full-time season, that I started to really learn, like, how to put a rig together. And so I kind of blossomed. Then, but by the beginning of my 4th season, I mean, it was just insane. I mean, it was crazy. We were getting, you know, 8 to 12 jobs a day, every day, and I couldn't handle it. Started with a helper that I paid. I think at that time it was like $150 a day. Then that helper became a driver, and then I went from there. But that's a great question. But let's go a step further. When should you get your first employee? I think should be the right question here. And here's the answer to that. You know, I think it's different, a little bit different for everybody. But what I noticed for me is that I needed to get an employee. What kind of really kind of sparked that idea in my mind was that I was at a point where I was losing customers by not having more people. Like I said, we were getting 8 to 12 jobs a day. I couldn't even, I can't do 12 jobs a day by myself. Even with the helper, that's really, really, really hard to do. So that's when I trained a driver. My helper became a driver. Then we split the truck in two. Then I hired 2 more people. Then we had, we went like that all the way up until year 6, 7 for me. We had 5 trucks in a field. But you should know right around there. You're at that point where you're going to if you're going to lose customers because you're overwhelmed, you got a lot of work. That's when you want to take on a helper. And by the way, I would take on a helper first before any admin people, because backstage people really digs into your networking and all of that. As a matter of fact, guys, for every backstage person, meaning like an admin person, you should have at the very least 3 people in the field, including yourself. So like, let's say, you're in the field by yourself, and then you have a helper, but then you have a second truck that he goes out by himself. You're probably at that level where you can hire someone to answer the phone. But there you have it. I mean, keep working up. I know when I was in the field by myself, I was in that close to like 280 to 320,000 $1 a year range. Also, that's another indicator, another marker. If you're doing like $250,000 a year by yourself, I would say that's a really good barometer for you to know that it's about time for you to get a helper. So that's a great question, by the way. Great question. Oh, and guys, real quick, before we get into numbers 4 and 5, let me tell you real quick about my business in a box. Guys, quick announcement. I've created a digital product called Mr. Bubbles Business in a Box. Check this out. Okay, so the Mr. Bubbles Business in a Box is actually a thumb drive that we're going to send to you guys to your physical address. And when you get this thumb drive, you're going to see a folder that's called Box in it. And then when you open it, you're going to see all of these files right here, guys, all of these folders. And guys, this thing has over 500 files, anything and everything I've ever created from my business. So all of the blueprints, training modules, documents, all of the things that you guys constantly email me about, your pricing PDF, your for example, your marketing blueprints, anything that you could need for your business is in here. That's why we call it a business in a box. One of the things that I really like about this is, guys, check out all of these pictures. So you have a total of 300 before and after pictures that you guys can add to your website and your Facebook and your Google My Business. And check this out. So there's a folder called Google SEO. And the pictures already have the SEO words in them. And this one photo right here has over 300. This specific folder has 190 pictures, but all in all, it's over 300 pictures. Look at some of these pictures, guys. Amazing before and afters pictures for you guys to be able to add to all of your social medias and whatnot. This is going to help you get a lot of customers. And of course, your edible postcards are on here. And then finally, you got training videos on here as well, guys. Like, for example, the video on how to optimize your Google My Business, the Mr. Bubbles. You got several videos. So they're like training modules. You got all the PDFs. The bottom line, guys, is this. This is going to help you with your business. So don't miss out. Make sure that you email us so you can get your business in a box today. In order to get your business in a box, you just got to hit the link in the description of this video. And I say this all the time on the channel, guys. The more you know, the more you grow. That's how come I decided to create this business in a box, because it has everything in there you need to be able to grow your business. And I really, really believe that this is going to be a game changer for you. Guys, you do not want to miss out on this one. And there you have it. Question number 4 comes to us from @WilliamTorres7942. And the question is, how many gallons of SH, 12.5% SH, do you use per house? Okay, so this is a great question, and it's going to vary a lot if we're talking about soft washing. Now, 90% of what we do is downstreaming, so I'm going to answer it from the downstreaming perspective. And here's what I'm going to tell you. You know, when professionals like myself or people that have been in the field and you have, let's say, 1,000+ hours, not hours, excuse me, 1,000 houses under your belt that you washed, like you're going to be very efficient with your solutions. Like, you know, it typically takes me no more than 6-7 gallons of house mix to do a house. So, you know, you're going through about 3 gallons of SH per house. Now, a new guy, though, you're going through about 20 gallons of mix, so about 10 gallons of SH, because as a new guy, you don't know, like, all the techniques, and you're just not very efficient yet. And so that's a very good question, but like I said, you can't really compare, you know, what's going on in your world to what, you know, where I am in that sense, because, guys, I have over 10,000 houses that I've washed, so I'm very much more experienced. But I've noticed that every single new guy I've ever hired and trained, they go through about 3 to 5 weeks, depending on the person, where they're right around there. Now, like my number one lead right now, which is Miguel, you know, I mean, I've seen him. I remember I pulled up to check up on him on the crew there, and they had 2 houses left, and they only had 6 gallons. Boom. He was able to get both houses done with 6 gallons of SH. And so, you know, it depends on the person. It depends on the experience. Like Miguel, he's going into this is his 3rd season with me. So, like I said, it really depends on the person and all that. But, you know, for you guys that are new, every time you go do a house, you have to have at least, and I'm saying at least, 10 to 15 gallons of mix per house. So let's say you're going out there and you're doing 2 houses, you should carry somewhere, you know, between 20 to 30 gallons, because most likely you're gonna milk your tank. You're gonna go through all of that. But that's a great question, by the way, one that a lot of people I think would have that question. Number 5 on our list, we have Chris the Window Cleaner, and he asks, how long would the average soft wash house take to complete? Wow, another great question. You know, guys, I have a lot of videos on my channel. I mean, at this point, it's like over 100 house wash videos. And you guys see it, you know, professionals, again, when you've been in a game for a hot minute, you know, you're going to do a house, let's say as an average, right around an hour. And that's, again, years of experience, chemical knowledge, commercial grade equipment. I mean, we have the creme de la creme equipment. So let's say, you know, as a new guy, you don't have the creme de la creme experience. You don't have 1,000 houses under your belt. You're probably going to take somewhere around 3 hours. I'm judging by my own experiences, guys. My very first house wash took me 6 hours, of course. Did not know anything about chemicals. Didn't know what a downstreamer was. I didn't actually have an actual rig. Like a lot of you guys, I was just like carrying the machine, you know, hauling the machine around with me. Or I should say lugging the machine around with me around the property. Like I was saying, I didn't have a rig. I didn't even know what that was. So, you know, having an established rig where you have your hose reels and everything's very professional. Your buffer tank, for example, not connecting the hose straight to the machine. That's a big difference. All of these things help you become more efficient. And of course, guys, there's absolutely no you can't replace experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more you do something, the more comfortable you feel at it, the more confident you become, and then that's where efficiency comes from. So, you know, highly recommend you guys get out there. Don't focus. I always tell my new guys, new employees that we're training, you shouldn't be focused on the time, how long it takes. You should be focused on the quality of the work. So, you know, make sure that you guys are going out there and you're doing quality work, because that's going to impact your Google My Business and your boots on the ground marketing, and then also your referral, like whether or not people are going to recommend you to their neighbors and stuff. But great questions today, guys. Oh, and by the way, make sure you guys stay glued, absolutely glued to the channel, because you know, the season is already here, guys, and we're going to be putting out a lot of content out in the field. I got that, by the way, in July. I got that enclosed trailer build coming for you guys. We're going to be doing a lot of soft washing, roof washing type videos, as well as gutter cleaning videos. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bubbles out.